So we have less than 3 months until the FIFA World Cup starts. And I did a previous report on Philadelphia, where FIFA canceled thousands of rooms in their city. And we also know that they're canceling rooms in every other city that's hosting a FIFA game. But today, I have a report out of my hometown in Vancouver. And Vancouver wasn't immune to this as well. And booking agencies locally in my hometown are now trying to find people to fill up these empty accommodations. And when it comes to the US, I have an article here that states US hotels won't see guaranteed surge from FIFA World Cup. Well, I think we kind of expected that. So in this video, we're going to go over all things FIFA. So let's get started with the first report out of Vancouver.
As you can see, the room has everything you need to be comfortable during your stay.
BC tour operator Maria Wehak has put a lot of work into creating an affordable experience for FIFA fans, pre-booking 250 dorm rooms at Burnaby Simon Fraser University.
As SFU is well connected to all the major events.
But with the games just a few months away, she says sales have been much slower than expected.
Currently sold around 20% of our inventory, which is a bit concerning. We were definitely hoping that we'd have sold up to 50% or more by now.
Now this is probably happening in every host city. Like, doesn't matter if it's in US, Canada, or Mexico. Rental agencies are going to try to take advantage of the event. Kind of like what happened in 2010 when Vancouver hosted the Winter Olympics. That was a great time. I'm 99% sure I'm in this photo somewhere, just don't know where. But during the 2010 Olympics, accommodation was a hot commodity. And even people were renting out their own properties. I know some people that managed to rent out their properties for the whole Olympics for like 5 digits. So what rental agencies are trying to do now is they're trying to catch the same wave. Except the wave might not be as big as it was during the Olympics. Because this wave has a lot of controversy with it. So when the agency earlier said that they only sold 20% of their inventory, my gut wasn't surprised, to be honest.
Now, the BC Hotel Association says FIFA has cancelled about 15,000 nightly room bookings in Vancouver over the month-long tournament. And that has local operators like Wehak worried they'll be left on the hook to cover the cost of rooms they can't sell.
It is very nerve-wracking, and I will say that this summer we know that a lot of our regular travelers aren't coming to Vancouver during that period. So we are quite heavily relying on these different unique packages we've put together around the World Cup.
Well, you might want to start thinking of some packages that don't revolve around the World Cup, just as a contingency. Because this is definitely not the same rush and the same wave that we had in 2010. Because now that FIFA has canceled 15,000 rooms, there's a lot more inventory that you're competing with now.
2 years ago, when it was announced Vancouver would be hosting some FIFA events, Mayor Ken Sims said it would be a tourism cash cow.
Equivalent of probably 30 to 40 Super Bowls.
But some feel the initial hype was a little overhyped.
This is a very, very different World Cup from others. This is the first time that it's been split between 3 countries, 16 host cities. It's a great piece of business, but it's like another major event in town that we would expect. It's like a Taylor Swift. It's like another one of these bigger conferences.
You know, I think that's actually why it feels different because, I mean, the host cities are all over the US, Canada, and Mexico, and there's not one headquarters, I guess, or one main place. But for me personally and my inner circle back home, I don't think I know anybody that's actually hyped for, the World Cup to actually go to Vancouver. I know my inner circle is just a very, very, very small portion, but it's definitely not like the Olympics in 2010. So I guess I got a question for anybody in Vancouver and Toronto who, the cities are hosting the FIFA World Cup. Is anybody in your inner circle excited for FIFA to actually come to Canada? Let us know in the comments.
FIFA says it is standard practice to book large blocks of hotel rooms for staff and media, but even with hotel rooms suddenly available, prices are not expected to come down.
I think the demand is going to continue to grow the closer we get in and the more hype the World Cup offers up in terms of who's coming here. We still have a team to decide.
Cautious optimism being shared by Vancouver businesses relying on revenue from the World Cup.
We just got to stay hopeful.
Holding out hope for those last-minute travelers. Janella Hamilton, CBC News, Vancouver.
So it's pretty clear that the host cities in Canada are not immune from the stigma around FIFA right now. And I'm sure Toronto is probably going to be the same way as well. Now, FIFA has said in other reports that these bookings that they've dropped is normal procedure. But it's not just one city or one country. I mean, it's everywhere. And it's not like they're dropping small blocks. I mean, it's thousands, 15,000 in Vancouver. So it's either someone went trigger happy and added way too many zeros on the end when they were confirming the rooms, or there's something wrong. Now, I want to go over an article from the Hotel Dive website, which looks like it's a hotel-based centric website. And they have an article here titled, US Hotels Won't See Guaranteed Surge from FIFA World Cup. So I'll go into this article, but before I do that, I would like to give a shout out to Michael from the Hey Cafe website for posting this photo of Jasper National Park on the Guard the Leaf page. I do appreciate everybody sending over their photos because I have had international community members say that, hey, I saw a photo on one of your videos, and that's where I want to visit this year. So the community is definitely helping to showcase our country to our international viewers. So thank you again, Michael, for posting this up. And as you can tell, the co-host just stepped in. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, I want to dive into this article that's titled, US Hotels Won't See Guaranteed Surge from FIFA World Cup. And the article starts off by saying, what we're seeing is a pivot towards flexibility. Hotels are adjusting rates, relaxing booking restrictions, and treating this more like a high-demand summer period rather than a once-in-a-generation windfall. That doesn't sound good. Hotels in some markets have reported picking up only a small portion of the previously reserved FIFA room blocks, with estimates as low as 15% occupancy for these allocations. So this big grand event that's supposed to happen in North America, to me, it sounds like it's a bit underwhelming, because to downgrade the biggest event in the world down to like a high-demand summer period, there's a reason for that. And one of the reasons why I kind of expected this is because One of the reasons why I expected this is because we've done previous reports from Europe that show that flights and hotels to the United States are actually worse this year than it was last year. And like I said in previous videos, if you're booking for a major event like FIFA, you're going to plan ahead of time. At least for me. I mean, I'm always one to plan well ahead of time. So if I was going to the United States for FIFA, my ticket, my hotel, everything would have already been booked. The article then goes on to say the World Cup games kick off in under 100 days. However, Oysterlink found that many hotel operators are shifting away from the rigid event-based pricing strategies and instead reopening their available inventory to general travelers. Boston Business Journal recently reported that FIFA itself had canceled booking blocks in all US host cities and said that the move followed earlier signs that demand was trailing expectations. Now, going back to the part that I highlighted, it says, and instead reopening their available inventory to general travelers. To me, that tells me that these hotels decided to get greedy and built all of these amazing packages just built around FIFA, calling it maybe exclusive packages or whatever else, and nobody's interested in them. Now, it's just going to be a regular summertime rate. You know what this reminds me of is like when restaurants, and if there's like a special event, like say New Year's or Christmas or Valentine's Day or something like that, they'll cancel off their a la carte menu and then basically force you to, pick from one of these packages. They'll put in an appetizer, they'll put in a main and a dessert, even if you didn't want the appetizer or the dessert. And on that day, if you want to eat at that restaurant, you got to go with the package. Well, in this case, it seems like they offered a package and nobody wants it. Now they're going back to the a la carte menu. Article then goes on to say, meanwhile, international travel, which has historically driven spending during the previous World Cup tournaments, is soft right now. Factors include visa processing, geopolitical tensions, and higher travel costs could potentially curb inbound travelers, forcing the hospitality industry to rely more on domestic travelers, who typically spend less per trip, according to Oysterlink. I think it's about time I brought these two clowns out again.
Also, of course, like we could survive without a ton of international tourism. I think the tourism industry in America, and I don't know this as a fact, but I think our tourism industry is more based on domestic tourism.
It is for sure.
You can always rely on these two guys to show how self-centered they are. But good luck with domestic tourism covering the international side. The article goes on to say, nonetheless, Oysterlink said that there would be increased localized demand concentrated around match days in key cities. While the demand won't be evenly sustained through the tournament, there could be what Oysterlink called two-phase pattern, with a slow start and increasing demand, leading to a stronger performance during the later knockout stages. Now, like any news report or article from the United States, they always got to end on a positive. And what I just read out to you is their version of the positive. Now, I don't doubt that the semifinals and finals, they'll probably draw in a big crowd. But will that crowd be comprised of just domestic tourism or international? Because we already have plenty of clues that this might not be the big event that the United States or even Canada and Mexico have figured it's going to be. The first clue, the Europeans. Their bookings for June and July are actually down compared to last year. And when it comes to hotel rooms, even third-party booking companies, like the one I mentioned earlier from Vancouver, they are struggling to fill their rooms. The third clue is FIFA dropping a big portion of their blocks. And the last clue is basically the hotel chains dropping their FIFA packages and just treating it like a summer rush. So I don't know about everybody else watching this video, but I'm more inclined to think that this FIFA event in all three countries is going to be a little bit underwhelming. I guess that's the best word I can say. But like I said in previous videos, for me personally, I don't have an attachment to football or FIFA. I don't personally just don't watch it. But it's also an organization that is attached to this, giving a meaningless FIFA Peace Prize to this idiot. So if the FIFA World Cup ends up being a flop, this is going to be my reaction. So let me know your thoughts and comments below. Do you think FIFA is going to... Hey, stop biting on that. Hey. She's biting on my headphone cables. Sorry about that, everyone. What I was trying to say is, let me know your thoughts and comments below. What do you think the outcome will be for the FIFA World Cup this year? Go ahead and share your comments with the community. All right, that's all I got for today's video. I think I really need to go. The co-host is getting a little anxious. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international point of view, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you're notified of my future videos. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that'll show up on your screen shortly. Thanks, everyone. I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, let's go play now. Hey.